So, you want to learn how to network with TCP/IP. Well, you're in the right place. This presentation will demonstrate that you have all the skills and ability to handle this material. I'll show that you already know everything you need to know to do math and networking. If you can add hours and minutes to a time of day, you've already learned how to use one of the most complex number systems devised by man or woman. The next several slides will review some of the basic math you already know, step by step, as a confidence-building exercise. I will be using column weight as a shorthand to show that a number gets larger as it gains columns. For instance, in a decimal system, we call the rightmost column the ones, then immediately to the left, the tens, and so on. When we do math, we carry and borrow to and from the column to the left. In a decimal number system, one based on 10, the number we carry or borrow is a 10. Normally when we count, we start with the number 1 and end with 10. But this confuses the weight column. Instead, if we start the count with the number 0, ending in the max for that column, then the count is kept in weight columns, making it easier to see when a carry or a borrow may be needed. As an example, if we counted the numbers in the second column to the left, the count would go 0, 10, 20, etc. So, when we do math with time, we use a binary value, a base 12 value, and a base 60 value, all in the same number. Our half-day column has two values, AM or PM, or binary values. So see, you already do binary math. The middle column is minutes, and it uses a base 60 number. When the value of minutes reaches 60, we generate a carry. If we borrow a 1 from the hour column, we add 60 to the minute column. Then we have the hour column, which goes to 12. If the number goes past 12, we will change the half-day indicator to its toggle value. We may also cause an associated number, the date, to change as well. Seriously, what kind of a nut job thought this system up? When you add times, you're doing some really complex operations. Let's do an addition by adding an hour and 45 minutes to 10:30 a.m. We start in the middle of the number by finding out how many minutes we have. We have 45 and 30 to get 75, but we don't carry the 7. We have to convert 75 to hours and minutes. We convert by subtracting 60, or a multiple of 60, which leaves 15 and a carry. And the carry plus an hour to the 10, and see that the new value is 12. As soon as we see that the hour is 12, we have a carry to the half-day column. Or do we keep it at noon, the unofficial day part designation? Let's change the half-day column to its other value, and we're done with time. But we may still have to do something with date. Seriously, nothing in networking is as difficult as this. By comparison to time addition and subtraction, any math you do in networking is simple and straightforward. You don't need any help in adding and subtracting decimal or even hours and minutes. In fact, you can do much of it without even thinking. Adding time is way more complex than what you will do in network math, but it is more familiar and you are confident in the result. That is the most significant difference between math you do every day and math for networking. Hexadecimal math requires the use of additional symbols. Since we can have values from 0 to 15 in a hexadecimal number, we have to represent those after 9 with something other than a number. Instead, we use the letters A through F. When you add a 1 to a letter, it increases to the next letter. If you subtract from a letter, it decreases to the next lower letter or number. And F is 15. When you borrow from a column, you get a 16. So you don't borrow a letter. When you carry a 1 hexadecimal. A 10 H is not a 10. A 10 hexadecimal is an A. In binary, there are two values, 1 and 0. If we add two 1s, then a carry is generated. If we subtract a 1 from a 0, we have to borrow a 1 from the column to the left. In this binary addition problem, the first two columns are simple addition. We have to carry in the third column because the two 1s are added together. In our binary subtraction, we have to borrow from the third column when subtracting a 1 from a 0 in the second column. So the only reason you may struggle with network math is because it is unfamiliar. The good news is that you can avoid having to do much of it. The bad news is that unless you understand it, you will be handicapped in any future in networking. Still, a lot of very successful people have overcome handicaps, and you can as well.